Have you ever opened a can of sardines expecting ocean freshness, only to be hit with a sour, metallic stench, cloudy oil, or something wriggling in the brine? For decades, sardines carried the reputation of being one of the cleanest, cheapest, and healthiest foods in America. Packed with omega-3s, calcium, and protein, they were praised as the heart-friendly choice in a tin. But what if I told you that the very can sitting in your pantry could carry hidden dangers that no label will ever warn you about? Think about it. Would you be able to tell if the oil inside your sardines was real olive oil or a rancid substitute that slowly damages your health? Could you spot the difference between a safe, sterilized can and one hiding bacteria strong enough to paralyze your muscles in just hours? And what about heavy metals like arsenic? Do you know which premium cans may actually be lacing your meals with toxins that build up silently over time? The truth is, not all sardines are created equal. Some are completely safe, but others have been linked to recalls, contamination scares, and shocking consumer reports. Families who thought they were opening a simple source of protein have instead faced hospital visits, terrifying health risks, and the kind of betrayal you'd never expect from a $2 tin. In this video, we're counting down 7 sardine brands you must avoid before revealing 2 that are actually safe to eat. Watch until the end, because what you've been keeping in your pantry might not be as harmless as you think. Before we get into it, can you do us a quick favor? Like this video and subscribe to join our healthy community. Also, type yes in the comments section now so we can see how many of you are interested in this type of video. All right, let's get started. Top 7 sardine brands to avoid. Number 7. Clover Leaf. For decades, Clover Leaf sardines were a household name in Canada, a brand parents trusted for school lunches, quick dinners, or a reliable source of protein on a budget. Their packaging carried an image of reliability. Bright labels, bold flavors, and the promise of clean, ocean-fresh fish packed in oil or water. But in 2021, this long-standing reputation was shaken by a recall that made consumers rethink everything they thought they knew about safe sardines. That year, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, CFIA, in cooperation with the FDA, announced that Clover Leaf's flavored sardines, including popular varieties like garlic and chive and smoked jalapeno, were potentially contaminated with Clostridium botulinum. This is not just another foodborne bug. C. botulinum is the bacteria that produces the toxin behind botulism, one of the most lethal foodborne illnesses in the world. According to the CDC, even a tiny amount of this toxin, measured in nanograms, can block nerve signals, leading to muscle paralysis and respiratory failure. In some cases, untreated botulism can be fatal within 24 hours. What shocked consumers even more was the fact that these cans showed no obvious signs of spoilage. There was no swelling, no bulging, no visible leaks. On the outside, they looked perfectly safe, sitting on pantry shelves like they had for years. But inside, over 20,000 cans were ticking time bombs. People who opened them were unknowingly risking blurred vision, drooping eyelids, difficulty swallowing, and eventually the inability to breathe without medical intervention. For seniors who often have weaker immune systems and may already be on heart or blood pressure medications, the danger was even greater. Their bodies are less equipped to fight off such a powerful toxin, making botulism particularly deadly. The recall served as a harsh reminder that flavored sardines carry added risks. Extra ingredients like spices, oils, and flavorings mean additional processing steps, and with more processing comes more room for error and contamination. Food safety experts often recommend keeping it simple. Sardines packed in plain water or olive oil are far less likely to harbor hidden dangers than their flavored counterparts. If you enjoy bold tastes, you can always add fresh herbs, lemon juice, or spices at home without relying on risky factory flavorings. Clover Leaf's 2021 recall wasn't just a headline, it was a wake-up call. A trusted family brand revealed how even familiar labels can conceal deadly risks. But you might be wondering, what's the best alternative if flavored sardines are off the table? I'll be talking about that later in the video. Number 6. John West. John West is one of the most recognizable names in the canned seafood market, especially in the UK and across Europe. For decades, The company has marketed itself as a pioneer in responsibly sourced seafood, featuring images of rugged fishermen and carefully managed supply chains. The brand has often highlighted sustainability and ocean stewardship, winning consumer trust through packaging and advertising campaigns that emphasize transparency and care. But in 2022, that image was tarnished when the UK's Food Standards Agency, FSA, alongside European regulators, issued a recall of John West boneless sardines in olive oil due to suspected microbiological contamination. Microbiological contamination is more than just a vague term. It can mean the presence of bacteria, mold, or other microorganisms that cause foodborne illness. Unlike spoilage you can see or smell, these bacteria can exist invisibly inside sealed cans. Many consumers only realized they had eaten contaminated tins after the recall was announced. In fact, reports surfaced of families who had already served the sardines to children, only learning days later of the potential risks. One parent in Manchester described her horror on a food safety forum. "I fed these to my son last week. He seemed fine, but I can't stop thinking about what could have happened. The potential consequences are serious." According to the CDC, foodborne illness causes 128,000 hospitalizations and 3,000 deaths each year in the US alone. And that's without factoring in Europe's statistics. For most healthy adults, symptoms like stomach cramps, diarrhea, and vomiting might last a few miserable days. But for seniors, especially those on blood pressure medications, diuretics, or with weakened immune systems, these symptoms can spiral into dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, and even kidney strain. What starts as just food poisoning can quickly become life-threatening. The troubling part is how the recall was communicated. Instead of a wide-reaching campaign, the notice was limited to sterile press releases and small updates on official websites. Many everyday shoppers never saw the warning. Contrast this with more proactive companies that issue direct alerts or use social media to spread urgent news. When it comes to food safety, silence can be deadly. So what's the lesson? Pretty packaging and sustainable claims mean little if the brand can't guarantee safety inside the can. Experts recommend choosing companies that publish microbial testing results or provide batch traceability online. In Europe, stricter rules often force this transparency, but not all brands comply. If a company can't prove its cans are clean, should you really trust them with your health? Number 5. Rasheed. Rasheed sardines, sold primarily in corner stores and small ethnic markets, built their reputation on one thing: price. Often costing less than $1 per tin, they appealed to families looking for affordable protein on a budget. But in 2016, the brand became the center of a food safety nightmare when the FDA announced a recall of several lots due to potential contamination with Clostridium botulinum. This bacterium produces the toxin responsible for botulism, one of the deadliest foodborne illnesses known. Botulism isn't your everyday stomach bug. According to the CDC, fewer than 200 cases occur each year in the United States. But nearly every case is severe, requiring hospitalization, intensive care, and sometimes mechanical ventilation. The toxin blocks nerve signals, causing symptoms like blurred vision, drooping eyelids, muscle weakness, and eventually paralysis of the lungs. Without immediate treatment, botulism can be fatal in a matter of hours. What makes it especially terrifying is how little it takes. Just a microgram of the toxin can cause serious harm. The betrayal with Rasheed was that the cans looked like ordinary sardines. Fish, oil, a simple label. Consumers expected nothing fancy, but certainly didn't expect danger. Health inspectors later revealed that defective sterilization during the canning process likely created the perfect environment for C. botulinum spores to survive. Instead of a cheap meal, unsuspecting families were buying cans that could literally take their breath away. Adding to the problem, small store owners often lacked awareness of the risks. Some admitted to continuing to sell the product despite customer complaints about unusual smells or sour-looking oil. One grocer in New Jersey even recalled telling buyers, "That's just strong fish," when in reality the product was unsafe. This highlights how dangerous low-cost imports can be when proper safety checks and batch testing are skipped. By contrast, European Union regulations require far stricter safeguards. Many EU sardine producers freeze fish before canning to kill parasites and undergo batch-specific microbial testing to ensure safety. Labels must also include lot numbers and traceability codes, making recalls faster and more effective. These standards are why EU-imported sardines are often considered safer than some low-cost brands circulating in US discount markets. The lesson is clear: cheap doesn't mean safe. Saving 50 cents at the register is never worth risking a night in the ICU, or worse. Number 4. Beachcliff. If you've walked through a Walmart, Kroger, or dollar store in the United States, you've almost certainly seen Beachcliff sardines. Recognizable by their bright red cans and long-standing association with Bumblebee Foods, they are marketed as a cheap, convenient source of protein for families. For decades, Beachcliff held a place as an all-American pantry staple. But behind the familiar packaging lies a troubling history of recalls, sodium overload, and questionable oil quality that can make these sardines a serious health risk. The most alarming event came in 2010, when the FDA announced a massive recall involving over 20,000 cases of Beachcliff sardines. The reason? Loose seams on the cans. At first glance, a small defect in the seam may not sound catastrophic, but in reality, this tiny flaw can allow Clostridium botulinum spores, the same bacteria responsible for botulism, into the sealed environment. Once inside, the bacteria can produce a toxin so deadly that even a trace amount can paralyze muscles, shut down breathing, and cause death if untreated. Customers who bought these cans had no way of knowing. The tins looked perfectly normal on the outside. Even when not contaminated, Beachcliff sardines raise red flags for anyone monitoring their diet. A single can often contains over 400 of sodium per serving, meaning one tin could deliver nearly 1,000 milliliters in total. For context, the FDA advises adults to consume no more than 2,300 milliliters of sodium per day, and the American Heart Association recommends aiming closer to 1,500 milliliters, especially for seniors and those with hypertension. In other words, one serving of Beachcliff sardines can use up nearly 1/5 of your daily limit. For people already taking blood pressure medications or diuretics, that spike in sodium can contribute to dizziness, swollen ankles, or even cardiac strain. On top of that, many bargain sardine brands, including Beachcliff, rely on cheap oil blends rather than high-quality olive oil. Studies have shown that vegetable oils like soybean or sunflower spoil faster and can go rancid when stored in warm warehouses. Consumers frequently complain of a metallic taste, cloudy oil, or mushy fish fillets. What looks like an affordable meal can quickly become a source of inflammation and digestive distress. Fixed tip: if you enjoy sardines but want to avoid these risks, skip the bargain bin red cans. Instead, choose brands that pack fish in extra virgin olive oil or water and clearly publish batch testing results. It may cost slightly more, but your heart and overall health are worth the investment. Number 3. Grandma sardines. At first glance, Grandma Sardines and other similar home-style brands might look harmless, even nostalgic. The labels often suggest a traditional recipe, a family brand passed down through generations. But behind that cozy marketing lies one of the most dangerous aspects of the sardine industry: no oversight and no traceability. Many of these mystery tins are sold in small ethnic grocery stores across U.S. cities, often imported without proper FDA approval. That means they frequently lack the most basic food safety safeguards: no USDA or FDA inspection stamps, no production codes, and no batch numbers. Why does this matter? Because without those identifiers, there's no way to trace a recall if contamination is discovered. If one can is found to be dangerous, regulators have no system to track where the rest of the batch ended up. Consumers are left completely in the dark. Reports from buyers and food forums have described worrying signs: cans with faded or unreadable labels, dented packaging, oily leaks, and worst of all, sardines that smell sour or metallic as soon as the lid is peeled back. Instead of neat, firm fillets, consumers often find slimy textures, gray flesh, and off-colored oil that resembles something spoiled rather than seafood fit for dinner. In fact, some Reddit users have compared the contents of these tins to cat food left in a hot garage. The health risks are even more severe for older adults. According to the CDC, seniors are 10 times more likely to die from a listeria infection compared to younger, healthy people. Add in pre-existing conditions, like high blood pressure or weakened kidney function, and the effects of foodborne illness become especially dangerous. A bad can isn't just an upset stomach. It can mean days in the hospital fighting dehydration, sepsis, or worse. The biggest problem is that these brands often mimic legitimate imports. Mixed on shelves with regulated products, they trick buyers who don't notice the missing stamps or can't read the foreign language print. What feels like a bargain authentic product may actually be a shadow import that bypassed every safety check. Fixed tip: always look for sardine cans with clear lot numbers, best by dates, and FDA/USDA approval marks. In Europe, batch traceability is legally required, which is why many experts recommend EU-certified sardines over unverified imports. Have you ever picked up a sardine can that looked sketchy, dented, or unlabeled? Did you walk away or take the risk? Share your story in the comments below. Number 2. Wild Planet. Wild Planet has built its reputation on being a premium, eco-conscious seafood brand. Its packaging highlights buzzwords like sustainable, wild-caught, and clean, giving health-conscious consumers the impression that they are choosing one of the safest canned fish options available. Health food stores, organic markets, and even major supermarkets often place Wild Planet alongside other high-quality products, reinforcing the perception that these sardines are worth paying extra for. However, independent laboratory analyses have revealed a serious issue hidden beneath the brand's glossy image: elevated levels of arsenic in some sardine products. In one test, certain Wild Planet sardines showed arsenic concentrations exceeding 100 micrograms per 85-gram can. To put this into perspective, California's Proposition 65 sets a maximum daily limit of 10 micrograms for inorganic arsenic, meaning a single serving of these sardines could exceed that threshold by tenfold. Unlike bacteria or spoiled oil, arsenic doesn't give off any warning signs. There is no unusual smell, taste, or appearance. Consumers would never know they were ingesting it. Arsenic exposure is not a trivial matter. Long-term ingestion has been linked to a wide range of health problems, including kidney damage, liver stress, cardiovascular issues, and even certain cancers. Seniors in particular are at elevated risk because their bodies are less efficient at processing and eliminating toxins. People already managing conditions such as hypertension, chronic kidney disease, or liver dysfunction are especially vulnerable, since arsenic accumulates in organs over time and worsens pre-existing problems. Unlike sodium or fat, arsenic levels are not disclosed on food labels, leaving consumers unable to make informed decisions. The problem lies partly in the regulatory differences between countries. While the US FDA does set certain guidelines for heavy metals in seafood, these limits are less strict compared to European Union standards. In the EU, seafood imports undergo rigorous heavy metal testing, and products exceeding safety thresholds are banned from entering the market. In the US, however, enforcement has historically been weaker, and products like Wild Planet sardines can still reach shelves despite containing potentially harmful levels of arsenic. The issue with Wild Planet underscores an important truth. A premium price tag and sustainable branding do not automatically guarantee safety. Consumers should look for brands that publish independent heavy metal testing results or provide certifications for batch safety. Without this transparency, even the most expensive can of sardines may carry risks hidden from plain sight. Number 1. Bulk imports with fake olive oil. The last on our list may actually be the most deceptive and the most dangerous. These are the generic bulk sardine imports labeled as packed in olive oil. At first glance, the claim sounds reassuring. Olive oil is associated with the Mediterranean diet, praised for its heart-protective properties and anti-inflammatory benefits. But according to multiple food safety investigations, as many as 70% of these cans don't contain real olive oil at all. Instead, they are filled with low-grade soybean, sunflower, or other vegetable oils, sometimes already rancid by the time the product reaches store shelves. The problem isn't only substitution, It's fraud that comes with serious health risks. Cheap oils spoil more quickly than true extra virgin olive oil, especially when stored in warm shipping containers or warehouses. Once rancid, these oils develop harmful compounds that increase oxidative stress in the body, contributing to inflammation and even cardiovascular strain. For seniors or anyone already on blood pressure or kidney medication, this creates a hidden layer of risk every time they open a tin. Even worse, many of these bulk imports arrive with no batch codes, no production dates, and no country of origin labeling. That means there is no way to trace a product back to its source in the event of a recall. Consumers are left blind, unable to verify what they're actually eating. The US FDA has flagged and warned against these practices for years. In fact, a 2018 UC Davis study tested imported olive oil products and found that nearly 69% failed international purity standards. If this is happening with bottled oil, it's easy to imagine how widespread the problem is in low-cost canned sardines. The consequences aren't just about rancid taste or smell. For individuals with soy allergies, mislabeled oil blends can trigger dangerous reactions. For the general population, consistent consumption of adulterated oils may lead to higher cholesterol, added kidney stress, and increased inflammatory markers. Unlike spoiled fish, which is often easy to spot with a foul odor, fake oils give few warning signs until the damage is already done. The takeaway is clear: not all olive oil labels can be trusted. Unless the can lists a clear origin, certification seal, and batch code, you have no guarantee of what's really inside. The Mediterranean health halo only applies when the oil is genuine. Otherwise, you may be swallowing a cheap, toxic substitute under a false promise of safety. Now that you know the list of sardine brands to avoid, there's no need to panic. Safe canned sardine options still exist. In fact, a few trusted names continue to deliver quality, traceability, and real nutritional value without the hidden risks. Let's take a look at the ones that deserve a place in your pantry. Top 2 safe sardine brands. Number 2, Patagonia Provisions. When it comes to canned sardines, very few brands rise above the troubling issues of contamination, hidden toxins, or misleading labeling. Patagonia Provisions is one of the rare exceptions. Known primarily as an outdoor apparel company, Patagonia extended its commitment to sustainability into the food sector, launching Patagonia Provisions to offer responsibly sourced, environmentally friendly products. Their sardines stand out not only for taste, but for the level of transparency and traceability they bring to an industry often criticized for secrecy. Each can of Patagonia Provisions sardines comes with sourcing information: where the fish was caught, how it was processed, and which fishery supplied it. This traceability is critical because it eliminates the uncertainty often surrounding generic imports with no origin stamps. By partnering with fisheries certified by third-party organizations, Patagonia ensures the fish are harvested responsibly, helping protect ocean ecosystems while delivering a safer product to consumers. Quality is another major advantage. Unlike bargain bin sardines packed in questionable oil, Patagonia Provisions uses genuine extra virgin olive oil or water. Independent taste tests, including reviews by Serious Eats and other food outlets, have ranked Patagonia's sardines among the best, citing their firm fillets, fresh aroma, and clean flavor. When you open the can, you see actual quality fish, not mushy gray fillets floating in cloudy oil. Nutritionally, these sardines are also a safer bet for seniors and health-conscious consumers. Many generic brands pack over 150 or 100 milligrams of sodium per can, which is 2/3 of the daily limit recommended by the FDA. In contrast, Patagonia's sardines contain significantly lower sodium levels, reducing strain on the cardiovascular system. For older adults on blood pressure medication or those managing kidney function, this difference can be critical. Lower sodium doesn't just protect long-term heart health, it can also prevent acute issues like fluid retention, dizziness, or spikes in blood pressure. Of course, Patagonia Provisions does come with a higher price tag. On average, their sardines cost several dollars more per tin compared to discount brands. But what you are paying for is safety, transparency, and peace of mind. Instead of gambling with unlabeled oils or questionable imports, consumers get a product that matches its promises: clean fish, real olive oil, and responsible sourcing. In a market flooded with uncertainty, Patagonia Provisions proves that not all sardines are equal. For those willing to invest in their health, it's one of the few canned options that truly delivers both nutritional value and trust. Number 1. King Oscar. While many sardine brands have stumbled with recalls, contamination issues, or misleading labels, King Oscar has maintained its reputation for over a century. Founded in Norway in 1902 and named after King Oscar VI of Sweden and Norway, the brand quickly became a symbol of quality in the canned fish market. More than 100 years later, King Oscar products are still recognized worldwide, proving that long-standing tradition and strict standards can deliver reliability where many competitors fail. One of King Oscar's key strengths is sourcing transparency. The brand clearly states the origin of its fish and maintains batch-level traceability, something missing in many cheaper imports. By following Norwegian and European seafood standards, which are among the strictest in the world, King Oscar ensures that every tin meets high safety and quality benchmarks. This is particularly important for consumers concerned about food fraud, hidden contaminants, or mislabeled products. Another hallmark of King Oscar sardines is their use of clean oils. Unlike bargain brands that rely on low-grade blends, King Oscar packs its fish in extra virgin olive oil, spring water, or other clearly labeled high-quality mediums. This not only improves taste but also reduces the risk of rancidity and hidden additives. When you open a King Oscar tin, you're far less likely to encounter the metallic stench, cloudy oil, or mushy texture that plagues cheaper brands. Taste tests by various food publications consistently highlight King Oscar sardines for their firm fillets, balanced breadiness, and fresh aroma. Nutritionally, King Oscar also stands out. While many sardine cans on U.S. shelves pack more than 1,500 milliliters of sodium, nearly two-thirds of the FDA's daily recommended limit, King Oscar maintains moderate sodium levels that make them safer for seniors and those managing blood pressure. For older adults taking heart or kidney medications, this balance reduces the risk of spikes in blood pressure, swelling, or dizziness often linked to high-sodium canned foods. Combined with a natural supply of omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and protein, King Oscar sardines provide both safety and nourishment without the hidden dangers found in many discount tins. Ultimately, King Oscar proves that not every can of sardines is a gamble. By combining a century-long legacy, strict Norwegian standards, and consistent quality, the brand remains one of the most reliable and accessible options for consumers worldwide. It's proof that trust in canned seafood is possible if you choose wisely. In the end, the choice is simple. Your health is worth more than a bargain tin. Always prioritize brands with visible batch testing, lower sodium levels, and transparent labeling. Avoid bargain bin varieties, sketchy imports without approval stamps, and any company that hides behind vague promises. When it comes to canned sardines, paying a little more doesn't just buy flavor, it buys safety, peace of mind, and long-term health. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever had a sardine can that smelled off, looked suspicious, or made you regret opening it? Or do you have a go-to brand you absolutely trust? Drop your stories in the comments below. We read every single one. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and hit subscribe so you never miss the truth about the foods in your pantry. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. To keep learning, we've handpicked 2 videos just for you. Click on one of them and we'll see you there.